Welcome back, class. So today we will talk about the techniques or methods used to gather data in non-experimental research design, and how to construct surveys and measuring responses, and lastly, sampling method. Okay, so first let's talk about the techniques that we will be using in non-experimental design. First, we have surveys. Survey is a useful way of updating information about people's opinions, attitudes, preferences, and behaviors by simply asking. It also allows us to gather data about the person's experiences, feelings, thoughts, and motives that are hard to observe directly. We can also use survey to collect data about sensitive topics, since pwedeng hindi ilagay ng participant natin ang mga names nila, so they can answer truthfully sa survey natin. There are two common survey techniques in psychology research, and these are written questionnaires and interviews. Written questionnaires can be handed out or be sent out through email, and nowadays pwede na rin tayo gumamit ng Google Form para sa mga surveys natin. Ang interviews naman, it can be face-to-face, telephone, or video calls. Ngayong pandemic, we can make use of Google Forms para sa written surveys natin and Google Meet or Zoom para sa mga interviews if needed. Now, let's talk about constructing surveys. Class, ang pag-construct ng survey ay hindi basta-basta mag-iisip ka lang ng mga tanong and writing it down sa piece of paper, and then that's it. Mali yun, okay? Dahil baka maging meaningless lang ang survey nyo kapag ganon. Baka hindi nyo talaga mag-gather yung data na kailangan nyo talaga for your participants. So there are actually a process in constructing survey. First, map out your research objectives. Make them as specific as possible. For example, your study is about wanting to know why some married couples get divorced. If dyan ka mismo magkukuha ng questions, it will be too broad, diba? Baka mamaya ang itanong mo lang ay, what made you decide to file for a divorce? You won't get specific answers kapag ganun ang ginawa mo. That's why you need to list down some specific aspect of your topics that you want to evaluate. Okay, so in this research, I want to evaluate issues of communication, constant conflict, lack of intimacy, incompatibilities, partners abuse, and addiction. So once na-list ko na ang mga topics na gusto ko i-evaluate, dito ko na i-guide yung questions ko. Next step natin is to design the survey items. Mamimili tayo if ang questions ba natin ay closed questions or open-ended questions. Or it can also be combination of both. Structured questions ang pinili natin, restricted lang ang answers ng respondents natin. They won't need to explain their answers. Examples nito ay, do you sleep in the same bed with your partner? Do you go to bed with an unresolved conflict with your partner? Do you physically hurt your partner intentionally? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love your partner? It can all be answered with a yes or no, tsaka kung ano ang score na pipiliin nila sa scale ng 1 to 10. Kapag open-ended naman, the respondent tells their opinions and feelings for that question. Hindi siya basta magsasabi ng yes or no. Examples nito ay, what are your thoughts about divorce? How important is constant communication in a relationship? Kapag combination naman, we will include both. Pwedeng tanungin muna natin sila ng closed question and then ipapa-elaborate natin yung answer nila with an open-ended question. Example, how much time do you spend with your partner? That is a closed question. To follow with, do you think it's necessary to spend quality time with your partner? Why or why not? And that is an open-ended question. So we can use them both kapag gusto natin ng more detailed answer. Now, structured questions are advisable kapag interested ka lang sa group data and you don't care about the underlying reason. For example, ang objective mo lang sa research mo is to know kung ano ang mas preferred na mode of learning ng mga students sa class at hindi mo rin intended na malaman bakit yun ang preferred nila. So, ang itatanong mo lang sa survey ay, which mode of learning do you prefer? Synchronous, asynchronous, or modular? And pwede mo ring dagdagan ng what kind of internet connection do you have in your home? Wi-Fi or mobile data? So with your gathered surveys, masasagot mo na kagad yung objective mo, which is to know if ano ang pinaka-preferred mode of learning ng mga students sa class. Now let's talk about measuring closed questions responses. Tandaan niyo pa ba ang level of measurement? Nominal, ordinal, ratio, and interval? We have tackled that noong psychological statistics. And now, kakamitin natin siya ngayon. So, I hope ay tandaan niyo pa itong mga to. Okay, so class, the level of measurement is the kind of scale used to measure a response. And we must know na ang statistical test na gagamitin natin ay nakadepende sa level of measurement na ginamit natin sa pag-gather ng data and sa objective ng research natin. Kaya mahalaga na alam natin kung ano ang level of measurement na ginamit natin sa research. Okay, first we have nominal scale. A nominal scale groups items together into categories that can be named. So, names na pwede makategorize ang data mo rather than numbers. Let me give you a scenario where I use nominal scale sa research ko. So, I wanted to know whether there is a significant difference between a person's gender and their perception. And para matest ko yung perception nila, I will show this image. Gusto ko malaman if pare-parehas pa na makikita ang mga babae at lalaki or magkakaiba-iba silang makikita dito. So what are my nominal variables? First, we have gender, and it can be categorized into male or female. Next, we have perception, and it can be categorized with kung ano man ang makikita nila sa picture, like old woman or young lady. Okay, now let's conduct a research. So I decided that my population will be students from CAS, and I want to have equal number of respondents in each gender. Therefore, I randomly asked 50 male students and 50 female students ng CAS. So I asked muna if they are willing to participate in this study, and I also told them that I will just show them a picture of an optical illusion and ask them kung ano makikita nila. Once they agreed to participate, ang ginawa ko is I showed this picture sa mga students and I asked them if ano ang una nilang nakita. I jotted down their answers and then I separated the answers of male and female participants since I want to know if meron nga bang difference sa perception nila. Now, when I look at their answers, I found out that most males, ang response nila ay madalas nila nakikita ay isang dalagang babae, whereas most of the girls saw an old woman naman. So that is an example of a nominal variable when applied to research. Other examples of nominal variables are religion and races. Religion can be categorized with Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, and races can also be categorized with Asian, American, Hispanic, etc. Basta tandaan nyo guys na nominal scales can be categorized. Now let's talk about ordinal scales. It is a rank ordering of response items. Tandaan nyo guys ang word na rank sa ordinal. Let me give you another example. I wanted to know kung sino ang pinaka-preferred na tatakbong presidente ng mga CAS students. So I randomly asked 50 students from each department and pinarank ko sa kanila ang mga candidates which are Duterte, Rojas, Poe, Binay, and Santiago, from 5 being the most preferred and 1 ang least preferred. So, nirank nila ang pang-president and through that survey, nalaman ko kung sino ang pinaka-preferred ng mga students in each department. Now, other examples of ordinal variables are educational attainment, which can be elementary, high school, college, masters, etc. It can be ranked from lowest to highest, diba? Same with academic honor roll, since meron tayong tinatawag na first honor, second honor, third, and so on. Next, we have interval scale. It measures magnitude or quantitative size using measures with equal intervals between values. Interval